So I do like to record that. So without further ado, business automation. Who feels like they could save a lot more time if some parts of their business was automated? And I apologize, I'm going right into this. Let's do introductions real quick.
Hi, I'm Amanda Bridges. I'm a real estate agent here in Topeka, and I dream of also starting a curbside composting company.
Curbside?
Composting.
Ooh, yes. I think we talked about that, didn't we, for a bit? Yeah.
That's still mostly in the dreaming.
Yeah.
/ planning.
But that and a few other irons in the fire.
You know.
We always got a lot of things.
Stacy Vaughn, I'm a realtor, actually the same place Amanda is. She just joined our team, our brokerage here a few weeks ago. So, and I'm here just to kind of get an idea so I can start, marketing myself more. So.
Yeah, in the real estate industry, it's, I hate to say it, you have a lot of support and a lot of people, but sometimes depending on how your group is,
you can get lost in the shuffle.
You can get lost in the shuffle, and honestly, it's to each his own as far as how well they succeed. And you guys know that too.
Brad Noller, agency business owner, American Family Insurance here in town, and also in Holton. Just here because get a lot of great stuff. Automation is obviously the name of the business, and about anything anymore. Just trying to improve communication with our clients and be the best resource we can be for them. So
yeah,
interesting. Glad to be here.
I'm Ryan Ash with Everyday CPA, and we do Tax Resolution Help Center, and I'm in for automation because we have to deal with a list that would bury me if I didn't able to do that, and I only have 24 hours a day, and I don't have 10,000 years to sort through it, so I need to get some automation going. Jim?
I'm Jimmy Brew. I do sales specialist and brand marketing for the Brad Noller Agency, American Family, and 20 plus years sales experience, but like to attend these classes to just learn more and to network, but also, with the number of clients that we do, we have some things that available that we can just set a process and let it do it for us, and we just need to do better at things like that and just take advantage of the tools we already have and be reminded of some new things that we can implement.
Yeah, a lot of times we have some tools available. We just haven't decided to leverage them because of time or understanding.
Mostly.
Yeah, time and knowledge. Those are the biggest criteria.
Yeah, I don't know how to use that.
Everybody knows Roger. Not everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm here trying to learn more about this. I'm kind of the old school guy. I do a lot of walking and talking and handshaking, and I can get a lot more done if I learn how to automate better.
Yeah, and you have some systems in place. It's just whether you're leveraging them. And a lot of it is leveraging the things that we have available, and especially if you already have it available. I know in a lot of the insurance agencies, there's things that connect with other components. There's third party, and especially when it's regulated, they're pre-approved. It eliminates a whole lot of headache, and if you leverage that to your best abilities. But we're going to talk about automation. So I gave you the cliff notes of this, but I'm going to go into a lot of detail, and you're going to see a lot more URLs. So if you want to write those down, you're welcome to on your notes. So we're going to talk about, and let's see if we can get this. Oh, right click, not left click, right? Okay, so first off, I'm going to talk about 5 areas of your areas to automate your business. They're listed out there, but in each one of those areas, I have at least 2 to 6 items of areas you can automate your business. So first thing is automate marketing, because without marketing, you don't have sales, you don't have traffic, and you can really, and this is a part of business. I know marketing can be incredibly time consuming if you're doing it the wrong way. And I don't want to say there's wrong ways to do it, there's inefficient ways to do it. Honestly, depending on if it's the core marketing strategy of your business, spending a lot of time posting on Facebook can be a very inefficient way to reach a broad audience, especially with the current algorithms. And that's where a lot of people, when I say marketing, or especially online or digital marketing, everybody thinks Facebook. Huge more opportunities. I mean, we talked about press release, distribution, SEO, blog posting. Those are long-term strategies. But there's a lot of ways to automate those, and we're going to talk about a few. So first of all, behavioral targeting. So Facebook ads, Google ads, affiliate ads. So these are places, so affiliates are groups where they already have a relationship with a specific audience. Everybody here has a specific target audience. In these type of systems, you can pinpoint those audiences. It's kind of like the difference between newspaper ads where you're going for everybody, and a lot of your industry, everybody needs insurance, everybody needs a home at some point in time. Everybody who owns an animal needs dog care at some point in time. Everybody's gonna have some tax problems or some questions at some time. So even though that's the broad audience, you wanna catch them when they're looking for your specific thing. And you can definitely leverage that. And why I bring this up, because a lot of people are like, well, tell me free ways to market. There's no free ways to market. It's either gonna take time or money. That's all there is. There is no free ways to market. If you're in other words, unless your time's free, which I don't know about you, my time, I give it away a lot, but those are volunteer things. But my time isn't free. But in these things, I prefer Google AdWords over Facebook, and I'm going to give you all my tidbits of what I prefer because of what I've seen. And I apologize, I forgot to introduce myself, didn't I? Although I think everybody knows me if they're here. But I'm Pam Billups, I own Kansas Business Solutions, and I help businesses that are ready to grow. So in other words, my entire focus is help people to get from where they are to where they're going to be with the least amount of time, money, and effort. And again, I have 20 years experience with those type of process improvements. And honestly, there's no reason to spend 10 years to do what you can do in 3 months with just a little bit of time and effort and understanding. But Facebook ads have got incredibly expensive, but you can do very specific targeting. So it's still a legitimate service. Did anybody go to the Facebook event that they held here? It was earlier this year. It was, Facebook had a big event. It had 200 to 300 people at it. People were driving from outside of Topeka to come to this event. They marketed it very well. They had a lot of giveaways, and bottom line, they were promoting themselves and promoting ways to use their platform. Great marketing effort because you were coming and they were continuing to market to you. But if anybody knows how to market on Facebook, it would be Facebook. So depending on your product or service, it's still a legitimate advertising platform. If you have a service that's $50 or less, or that's your margins per customer, probably not your best service. But if your margins for your customers are in the 4-digit mark or $1,000 or up, it's actually a really good platform to pinpoint those people. One thing negative about Facebook advertising is it's a disruption marketing. So in other words, people aren't going to Facebook to find you. You are going to find them. So you get less percentage reach. Google Ads, on the other hand, you are targeting keywords. You're targeting search terms, not necessarily demographics or people. And you can pick a lot of things in there. You can, it's really good platform. You can control your budget, and you can target specific people, and you know the people that you're targeting with Google Ads are looking and searching for those keywords. So if they say, you know, something home in Topeka, you know they're looking for a home at that time. If you're advertising on Facebook, you don't know if they're looking for your service at that time. You know, motorcycle insurance, they probably just bought a motorcycle, and or their insurance rates just went up on their other provider. You know people are physically looking for yours, and so your percentage close rate and your percentage turnover is much higher. And I think the cost has fairly been even with it. So moving on to, so my preference between those two is Google Ads, depending on your market. So I always want to say depending on your market, because Facebook is still a very competitive advertising structure. It's got really saturated because so many people are on the platform. A/B testing. This is something I do regularly with a platform called Thrive. It's in the Thrive Theme Network. This is where you can do A/B testing on your SEO. So if you have a website, you can put different titles, and you can see which ones of those titles that people click on more. I could show you specific examples if you ever want some specific examples, but it's wonderful, especially if you do a lot of content marketing. If you're doing content marketing and or you're posting, I always think if you're in the real estate industry, if you don't have your own blog or post that you're being able to share, you're getting less SEO traffic. If you are in an industry where you have to have things approved and you have very limited ability, but I know we talked about, as far as blogging about specific events or things that are in the news or different things like that, you can actually write an entire blog post and change some of the headers or change that meta description. So you know, like in Google, it's got the the bold header, and then the description under it. You can change each one of those and actually know if you got 80% on this one and 20% on this one. Guess what? You know which one it is. So rather than just write a title and hope you get traffic, you can write 2 titles and see which one's the best. You know what you can do after that? You stick with the 80%, do another tweak. See if that changes things. And one thing I've realized is you can do that if it's something that's been 2 years old. Sometimes the way the population thinks is a little differently. So what was 80% 2 years ago may only be 60% today of something, a variation of it. But it's really important that that meta tag, if you're doing some split testing, has information that makes people more curious. So that information is really to stimulate curiosity. It's to stimulate that person thinking, this article is going to answer my questions, or this article may be something that I'm interested in, or house, or different things like that. So those key components. Nothing frustrates me more about shopping for a house than not knowing the location, the zip code, or the price. I don't care if it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, if I don't know the location or price. It doesn't, those are my biggest 2 criteria, is the location and price. I could go with a 1-bedroom in a nice neighborhood. I won't even look at a 3-bedroom in a bad one. And I know good or bad is all perceived, right? You're not allowed to say what's good or bad. That's steering. Okay.
Use does that for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, Zapier Integration. Has anybody heard of Zapier? This is my favorite platform. I call it my cheapest assistant. It is an amazing platform. You can sign up for free, that you can test it out, you can play around with it. It is really easy to integrate. It has 1,500 different things that it will connect for you. So it can search your email for key names. It can, so like, say your mom emails you. You might not check your email for 2 hours. You can have that email text you. And you can decide what words in that email that go to your text. You can have it write your sales reports for you. So I have I have several Zaps in mine. They call them Zaps just for short. But what it is it basically takes your information from other places and either consolidates it, does calculations. It can do a lot of stuff. I use it really readily on my CRM system. So if one of my clients goes to a web page, it actually sees that interaction and writes a code to my CRM system to send them another email about the specific page they just went to. I might wait a half hour, not gonna just blast them or something like that. But if they went to a page that had a product on it that I knew they were interested in, I may send them, say, hey, I saw you were interested in that. Here's a 20% coupon if if the price was your biggest deterrent. So you can really target and add more value and information by linking systems together. One of my other systems, it watches, because I don't know about your payment systems, or I know on your area, you probably do some things with reports and analytics as far as what they're doing at the end of the month. But a lot of it is, they may or may not, because a lot of times it's time restricted, but how many of the different services are being offered. So I have a reporting system that actually tells me, it pays attention to my Stripe account, my PayPal account, and my bank account, and it'll say how many transactions and how many of those were new clients, how many of those were recurring clients, and how many clients I lost last month. And I have percentages for all of those. And it also tells me what my costs or my average purchase price per client is. So I don't have anybody doing my reports for me, it's doing it for me. And if you're wanting to upgrade to so many, like 1,000 Zaps a month, it's $20. That's why I say it's my cheapest assistant out there, because if I were to have somebody do what it does, it would spend probably 5-10 hours a month, easy, of what it does. I have basically it running about 100 transactions a month, and I actually get reports on all that, but it's one of my favorite platforms. It's not very difficult to set up, it's not very difficult to link, and again, link it to your email. You can link it to Google. All Google Drives are compatible with it. Most CRM systems are all compatible with it, almost all websites, different things like that, and it's also connected, again, like Google Voice, all those other things. It's out of 1,500 different things it's compatible with. It's just very powerful for a very simple system. Okay, email marketing. This is your biggest and most, the best ROI marketing automation platform there is. And there's so many of them out there, but the big ones is MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, Constant Contact. There's a few other big ones. I use primarily MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, and this is my logistics to it. MailChimp, free for up to 2,000 people. It's very good, powerful, and actually it's very affordable if you need more features in it. But they've actually improved it so you get a lot more features for free, because honestly what they're doing is they're trying to get you so used to that platform, as you grow, you're not going to move away from it. So they're giving you a lot for free because they're marketing to you. Whereas ActiveCampaign is pretty much a pay to play, but it's got a very powerful system as far as tagging, and where you can systematically send specific things to specific areas, specific people, and you can tailor the message based on where they are. So you could tailor a different message to somebody who's bought from you several times, a lead versus a buyer versus somebody that's on the seller's end. You can actually tailor those messages, but send one once a week. I have emails that I wrote 2 to 3 years ago. They're being sent every week when somebody goes to my site. Now, probably went in and updated them, checked them, had somebody proofread them. Probably should have done that before I sent the first one. But literally, these are conversations, and these are ways that you can develop that relationship and interaction, because almost every single one of my emails go out, have either additional value and or additional ways to contact me, or different additional ways to change your account, especially like, you know, if motorcycle, the laws are changing. It's just a great way to reach out to people. It's a touch point. One of the things I'll talk about later is it's also a good way to link in your social media and some of your other things. So when you email them, say, hey, I'm doing this event on social media, here's the link to Facebook. And or if I'm doing a live, or, you know, I'm doing a virtual walkthrough, the video's here. You know, it's a really good way to be able to communicate, but also to cross-link platforms. Most of my emails have Facebook, Twitter, all those things on the bottom, you know, whether it's a YouTube channel or different things like that. You're connecting using one platform, but you're connecting to the other. So we'll talk about that probably in the next thing. Again, they're all good systems, and they all have just slight pros and cons to each other. SMS marketing. So this is text marketing. This is becoming very popular. It's also can get very annoying if you have not solicited for it. I know Messenger, you can get into this too, where you can message, automate message people, but you have to get permission for that. That's highly regulated by Facebook. Text messaging isn't as regulated. You pretty much can put in phone numbers and blast the same message to a lot of people. One of these services is Easy Text. Again, it's got a free option. If you're only doing $50 a month, you can totally stay on their free platform. It's a great way if you're having an open house and you have a list of prospective buyers. You can text them, say, we're doing this open house this day, love to see you, have a cookie for you, or something, you know. I mean, you know, especially your open houses, or if you're at a vendor event or something like that. You can tell people you're there, hey, we got some really good giveaways, you know, if you stop by and or you say something or tell a friend. But again, easy texting, almost every single service I'm telling you about has at least a 30-day free trial, if not a 100% free option. And I don't know about you, I love those because I can test it out before I spend a dime. If I have to spend a dime before I test it out, it always makes me a little more leery. And honestly, because it takes time to test it out. It takes time to invest in that. And again, I'm probably way over my time already. Not yet. But we're in those first 6, right? I probably should get to the next one of the 5. So landing pages. Again, landing pages are tremendously an advantage because you make them specific for specific things or specific products. I know in the real estate industry, you can do an entire website just for a property, especially if it's a high-end property. You can have that website be that whole property, and or a full link that's a one page for that property. Nothing else is on it besides that property, your information, and contact. It really reduces the system on that. Now, you know, there's different regulations in different industries, but again, one of the things, like I said, in automation is you can do some A/B testing on this. You can have a system build these pages for you. You do not have to be hate to tell people this because I do website design. You don't have to be a designer to make really awesome pages if you have a system for it or if you have a template. There's a lot of templates out there made specifically for video sales pages, book sales pages, property sales pages, business sell pages. It doesn't matter what you're selling, whether it's technology or others, there's templates out there. And again, when you're talking about automation, I'm saying let something else do 90% of the work and you just fill in the details. So lead pages is a really good thing because it's basically either a full website or a full page that doesn't have anything on it but what specifically people are interested in if they're landing on it. Okay, we're going to talk about 3 different sales automation tools. Why did my 3 get behind that? That's interesting. But if you're going to do a sale, let's talk about taking payments. You want to be able to take payments online. You want to have notifications if somebody's credit card's expired. You want to be able to have recurring. I know in some of your industries, those are all set up and regulated, but I know Roger and Ryan, just realized it's R&R.
Kelly and Ryan.
Kelly, no, Roger.
Oh, Roger, got
Sorry.
it.
I was saying in your industries,
Well, I think point at
you got recurring payment, you may have one-time payment, but definitely you want some interaction. You want people to have a receipt, you want them to know that they paid, and on your industry, I'm sure it's not, really?
What's that?
As far as there's invoices, there's receipts, it's all online.
It's all taken
Yeah,
care of.
it's with yours. You don't have as much individual control of that.
It's already taken.
But individual businesses, they 100% have to set this up. And there's systems that'll set it up for you. Again, I use Zapier to integrate with a lot of these. But one of my favorite payment systems is Stripe. PayPal is actually the easiest one to set up because it's just it's a third-party system. Stripe, you actually have to have an integration already on your website to be able to do that. But you can do automatic payments. It will automatically work with the bank. It's a very robust system and very trusted system in the industry. The biggest thing is you want to notify people before they're getting payments. You want to make sure if they want to change their payments, they want to cancel their payments, there's links to all that stuff on there. And all these systems automate that for you. So I always joke, if you're hand invoicing anybody, you are spending time. I run into a lot of businesses that are still in fact, there's some here I could introduce you to, they probably wouldn't appreciate it, but most all their clients are invoicing. I actually give discounts to my clients if they pay online. It costs me more if they pay online. I actually get less of a cut on it. But I don't have to manage it. I don't have to invoice it. It's automatic. They get an update. I get paid. It's done. And one of the things I like about Stripe is it goes right into your bank account. Whereas PayPal, you have to go in and transfer and all that other stuff. Again, systems like Intuit, Intuit's, it integrates, but it's pretty picky. So that's why if you're using a payment processor, there's different ones out there. In other words, that works with Visa, MasterCard, other things. Ability to opt in before payment information. A lot of this is to get cart abandonment, which is hugely important. I have those things on my site where somebody puts an email in before it goes to the next page of the payment. I mean, you've seen those 2-step payment systems, right? Where you put in your information before they even show you the price sometimes. Have you ever seen those? Where it's kind of frustrating. But if it's an email, most people are just like, oh, well, I'll give you my email because I'm getting something free before you give me the promotional. I mean, usually there's something given for it. But if it helps you follow up on leads, especially if you run a lot of stuff online. The theory is 50% of the people that are your customers is 50% of the people that have checked on your business maybe that day. So that's 50% of people that if you just gave them something for your email or had some way to collect some of their information, you could say, hey, just reaching out. Was there a question you missed? Was there something that went wrong? And I actually had a client based on my cart abandonment email saying, hey, I saw that you were looking at purchasing this. They actually had started putting in the information. Just either the credit card didn't process it. I was like, just wanted to see if anything went wrong on my end. I wanted to reach out. And they actually called and told me that on Firefox or Internet Explorer, which is actually an older platform, my site was showing up with a warning that was possibly unsecure or hadn't been verified. I didn't know that because I never go to that browser. And I said, hey, here's 50% coupon for life. I'll even give you for a couple free months because I went in because you actually have to go into their platform and verify your site is a legitimate process.